Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World and welcome to a Persephone book reviews video where I take a selection of recently read, or in this case recently read and reread Persephone books, and I review them for you. So Persephone books, if you don't know, but I'm sure you do by now, they are a publishing house and they're also a shop now based in Bath. They were based in London, and they publish books that for whatever reason have gone out of print, predominantly by women, but not all. And shall we get straight into it? I think so. So first of all, Vain Shadow by Jane Hervey. This was originally published in 1963 and then republished by Persephone Books in 2015, and this is Persephone book number 112 in their collection. So, Vain Shadow, what is this about? This is about a family that are quite well to do, and the patriarch of the family dies. And he dies in the middle of the night, and the family wake up to the news that he has passed away. And this book is about the family organising everything, the funeral, the will, the flowers, everything, sorting out what is going to happen to his wife, their mother, and it's a very sad reality book but a dark comedy at the same time, and I liked it. I'm not 100% sure really how I feel about it because, as I said, I liked it but I really had to be in the mood for it, and some days I just wasn't in the mood for it. I didn't like any of the characters. I'm not sure if I was meant to. The only character that I thought was alright was actually the granddaughter, but everyone else I thought was vile. But it's a dark comedy, so I probably wasn't meant to like anyone, to be honest. As I said, it's one of these books I really had to be in the mood for, and I did struggle to continue to be in the mood for it. Am I glad that I've read it? Yes. Would I recommend that you pick it up? Yes, if you're in the mood for it. Did it blow my socks off? No. Next we have Patience by John Coates. As I said, they don't all republish women authors, sometimes it is men too. This was first published in 1953, republished by Persephone Books in 2012, and this is Persephone book number 99. And this is actually a reread for me. I have read this book before and I loved it the first time round, and I have to say I loved it just as much the second. So this book is about a woman called Patience. Patience is married and she has children, she has daughters, and at the beginning of the book she thinks she's pregnant again, and she's having a conversation with her brother about possible infidelity within their marriage. And it's very difficult because Patience is Catholic, and this book is about relationships, marriage, fidelity and infidelity, all battling with religion as well. I really enjoyed this book. I really like the character of Patience, and the ending, I remember the first time round I read it, I was so shocked at the ending. I read it like 3 times over, and even though I knew the ending was coming, I was still just as surprised. Why? But yes. Would I recommend this book? Oh yes, certainly. Go and read it. And then last but not least, I have No Surrender by Constance. This was first published in 1911, republished by Persephone in 2011 in its centenary year, and this is Persephone book number 94. I have tried to read this book many a time because this book is a contemporary novel on the women's suffrage movement. Right at my street, but I've always failed, and I've always failed because in the first chapter it's in quite thick northern dialect, but this time round I pushed through, and you know what? I succeeded and I loved this book. This is a book, as I said, a contemporary, so 1911, we hadn't acquired the right to vote yet. We were fighting for the right to vote, campaigning for the right to vote, being imprisoned, going on hunger strikes, being force-fed, all that was happening, and it is detailed in this book. So our main character is a woman called Jenny who's northern, and for several reasons she wants to acquire the right to vote, and so she gets involved in the women's suffrage movement. She ends up going from the north down to London, as many people did, in order to fight for the cause. And in here we meet a whole bunch of different people. Jenny's not really just the main character. She's someone that we follow, but then we follow so many others as well, from all different walks of life, different class opportunities, different backgrounds, different social status, different occupations, all acquiring the right to vote for different reasons. We see so much that is taking place, the educating taking place, the things that are outside the social norms for a woman that is acceptable but is still perfectly legal, you know, standing on the soapboxes and trying to educate the crowd. We see the marches that are taking place. But then we also see things like the demonstrations and the militant actions that take place as well, and the consequences of that. So the arrests, the hunger strikes, the force feeding, what comes after the force feeding. We see all of that and then some, and it is spectacularly written. And I got rather emotional reading this. And I can imagine if I was reading this at that time, oh, wouldn't this persuade me to get involved? Yes, it would. It really, really would. I absolutely loved it. When I read it the first time, I thought 4.5 stars, but this book has not left my mind, and I've upped it now to a 5-star because it's just so spectacularly done. It is showing so many aspects of the women's suffrage movement, the reality of why women required the right to vote in the first place, you know, whether that be right over pay or right over your children. This book demonstrates that, and was demonstrating what these campaigners were going through in order for us now to have the right to vote. So a wonderful piece of history as well as a fantastic novel. And also this book is being adapted into a graphic novel that comes out in November, which I'm so excited to read because I'm just hoping that it's just going to be beautiful. And oh, it's such a good, important book to be brought to life, so I'm very much looking forward to that. So there we have it. Those are 3 Persephone books that I read recently. What do you make of them? Have you read any of these 3? What do you think? If not, are any of them on your wish list? Are they on your wish list now? I hope if they are that you manage to catch them soon. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to talking to you in the comments. Take care, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Bye for now.